AI is quite stupid, Google making big moves, and your new AI job. You're watching the AI Report. Important news at the end of this video, so stay tuned, watch until the end, and let's get into it. Meta's president for global affairs, Clegg, says that the hype over AI is too big and that AI is in many ways quite stupid. Are you sure that's a wise move, Nick? Do you think the AI god will like that statement in 5 years? But seriously, that's pretty much my position as well right now. I know, I'm supposed to spread the hype as the rest of the AI content creators, but I have a thing for self-sabotage, so let's go with the truth. I wouldn't necessarily call most of these AI stupid, but they're pretty far from being really intelligent. That said, they seem to be progressing very quickly, and that's why statements like this don't age very well. Next, we have an update from ChatGPT. If you're a ChatGPT Plus subscriber, the message limit will be increased from 25 messages every 3 hours to 50. This is actually quite good. I found the limit of 25 messages every 3 hours to be a bit limiting. I think 50 should be just enough to get some more stuff done. Now, this should be balanced with the reports that ChatGPT might actually be getting dumber in order to reduce compute costs. I talked about this before. I think it has gotten a bit dumber lately, but now you have a bigger message limit, so I guess you can unleash more stupidity now. Apple has finally said the forbidden word. They are starting to build Apple GPT, a large language model to be used for an internal chatbot and generative purposes. Many people say they are pretty late to the party, but I think they just played it safe and probably smart as well. Apple usually avoid releasing half-baked products and unproven technologies to their customers, which sounds kind of respectful actually. I don't really like Apple products, but I must admit they do put the customer first all the time, and they don't take their users' trust for granted. And it's not like AI has been a threat to their business so far, so they were not really in a rush. I mean, your iPhone is basically a camera in your pocket that can also send mean texts. Does it really need AI that much? I think waiting on AI wasn't a bad play on Apple's part. Let's see how the AI turns out to be. Moving on, Google plans to put the final nail in the coffin on journalism, which has been dying a slow, painful death since the birth of Twitter and the internet news cycle. So Google is pitching their latest AI called Genesis as a journalist assistant tool to the New York Times, the Washington Post, and the Wall Street Journal, among others. The reports from the media representatives who saw the presentation are mixed so far. Allegedly, Genesis should be used only as a helper tool and is not meant to replace journalists. Tricky. I think these media publications should place their bets on being trustworthy instead of being quick. Sure, in the age of Twitter, quick and catchy headlines get all the retweets, but smart, well-researched, fact-checked articles get the trust of the people who actually read the articles, instead of just posting angry comments. Which, sadly, by the way, that number is decreasing over time. People read less and less, and they just retweet and post angry comments more and more. I'm not recommending these publications surrender and die. We need them very desperately. In fact, check the URL I'm at right now. It says NY Times, not myquickdirtyAInews.ai, and that's all the proof you need. If they're dying, however, maybe they should die with grace, go down fighting. I say maybe consider using Genesis as a helper if it's really good, but the bulk of the journalistic work should be done by humans. We're sticking with Google a bit more. They are announcing some AI for enterprise, including Imogen for AI image generation and editing, Bond 2 for chat, Cody for code generation, Chirp for multilingual speech AI, Model Garden and multimodal embeddings for API access, and Generative AI Studio for prompt design. On top of that, they propose a new medical AI model called CoDoC, or Complementarity-Driven Deferral to Clinical Workflow. Yeah, CoDoC, exactly. The model learns when to trust the diagnosis of a predictive AI and when to defer to a clinician. So today we have Google pitching Genesis to big newspapers, all of their enterprise AI announcements, and the CoDoC. Yesterday was Microsoft's day, but today clearly goes to Google. Since we mentioned Microsoft, Teams will add AI filters from Maybeline. That's what the internet needed, more filters. I had no issues when filters were a Snapchat toy for clueless teenage white girls, But now when you see your manager on the video call with amazing glowing skin, it's no longer cool. And finally, this is probably the most important piece I've done lately, especially for many of you who are either looking to get employed with AI or maybe you have recently lost your job because of AI. The biggest companies in the US are rushing to fill AI leadership positions. We baptized this position as CAIO, if I remember correctly, a few episodes ago, the Chief AI Officer, but it seems like the popular name is Head of AI. Okay, I can live with that. About a quarter of the top 2,000 companies in the US already have C-level employees tasked with managing the incorporation of AI technologies into the company. A year from now, that quarter should become more like 3/4, probably even more. In fact, they estimated that over 80%. Sure, there's a ton of buzz around AI still, but unlike some other passing fads, AI is probably here to stay. There's simply too much on the line, too much money to be made by companies, and unlike previous fads, AI has real use cases. So, with that in mind, I would like to announce that one of the main goals of this channel moving forward, besides supplying you with the most important AI news, will be to prepare you for an AI job, or even help you aim for the top and prepare you to become the head of AI at some company. I will keep covering the news, I will still try to post an episode every day, but also I will do my best to get you ready for doing productive work with these AI tools. That's the way forward, and that's the way it is. That was the AI report. Tell me what you plan on doing about these new technologies and toys we have at our disposal. Do you plan to create something or work on something cool, or maybe use them for your work, or do you actually do that already? I would like to know that. Like and subscribe as well. Do your thing, and I will see you tomorrow.